Hi everybody! Welcome back to Cernys Journeys virtual road trip. Today, we're going to Alaska. I'm Sarah.
I'm Cora. I'm Jamin.
Awesome! So let's tell you a little bit about Alaska. Alaska was the 49th state to become a state in the U.S. in 1959. They actually have a pretty small population of about 800,000 people, but it's a huge state. So let's start off by getting our map. Does everybody have your map?
Yep.
Again, go to cernysjourneys.com to print off your map, and let's find Alaska on the map.
Found it. It's down here.
Okay, let's color it in. So the funny thing about Alaska is on maps it always shows up in a different spot than it really is. Traditionally, they don't have enough space to put it at the top, so you'll find it sometimes at the bottom. However, it's not at the bottom at all. It is at the very northwestern part of the country, and it is the biggest state in the U.S. with no other bordering states. In fact, it borders Canada. You guys doing? How you guys doing?
Good.
All right, I'm gonna wait till they're ready. So today we're gonna talk about the wildlife that's in Alaska, and we're gonna also talk about the Northern Lights. So if you don't know about those things, we'll tell you a little bit about them. Again, the cool thing about taking this virtual road trip is you don't have to do what we do. Every state has got some things that other people may be interested in. These are just the things that we wanted to talk about. So when we talk about Alaska, the capital of Alaska is Juneau. However, the biggest city is Anchorage. But again, as I already mentioned, it's not really a populated state. Really what populates the state is the wildlife. So today, before we started our video, the kids and I talked about the wildlife in Alaska. There are some animals. Give me an animal, Cora. What's some animals?
Whale.
A whale. What kind of whale?
Beluga whale.
A beluga whale, that's right. Jamin, tell me about another animal.
A moose.
A moose, that's right. Do you remember any other animals we talked about?
Caribou. Eagle.
Caribou, American eagle, correct. Do you remember anything else?
I don't know. I just said one in my mind. Polar bear.
A polar bear, very good. Daddy's giving the crab symbol.
Why?
Because there's crabs. Because it's by the Bering Sea. And we'll talk about that too. So we actually kind of like Alaska a lot. And it's probably not because we've been there. There's only 3 states left that I have to go to in the U.S., Alaska being one of them. However, Discovery Channel is huge on Alaska TV shows. So if you want to add to your project and do something fun, go and DVR something from, or maybe not even DVR, on demand something from Discovery Channel. There's a lot of shows on Discovery Channel that feature Alaska, such as Gold Rush, Deadliest Catch, Bering Sea Gold, Alaska: The Last Frontier, and I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting, but we tend to watch them all. So anyways, so back to the animals. The kids both drew an animal from Alaska, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about Alaska. Who wants to start? Are you starting, Jamin, or is Cora starting?
You can start.
Okay.
I can start. Okay, so moose can be 6.9 feet. They can be 25 years old. Moose live in
Forested
areas where there is snow, cover in winter, and near lakes, bogs, swamps, streams, and ponds.
Yep, that's very
Show
true.
them the picture.
Very true. Yeah, show them the picture of the moose that you
It's
draw.
cute.
So part of our activity was that the kids were going to draw an animal and give us some facts on the animals. So let me tell you a little bit more about the moose, because I think it's kind of a cool animal. They tend to be extremely big. So Jamin's picture doesn't really show us how big they get, because a male can weigh up to 1,600 pounds. The typical male moose is 1,200 to 1,600 pounds, and a female is about 800 to 1,300 pounds. So if you take 8 of those for a female, that would be 8 of me, I would say, would be a moose, which is absolutely crazy. And there's actually overpopulated in Alaska, so they are allowed to hunt, and sometimes they become a nuisance because they are all over the place. So if you do go to Alaska, the likelihood of seeing a moose is pretty high. All right, Cora, tell us about the beluga whale, one of my favorite animals. Tell us, show them the picture. Tell us what you learned about them.
Beluga whales eat
Kaplan?
capelin and cod, also
Herring.
herring and smelt. Beluga whales are...
You didn't finish your sentence. I can help her here though. Beluga whales, the cool thing about a beluga whale is they're white. So they're identified because they're white and they have a really big forehead. And another really cool fact about a beluga whale is they're related to the narwhal. Do you guys know what a narwhal is?
Yeah. It lives in the North Pole.
I don't know where they live. I know it was in Elf
North
though.
Pole.
I know with Buddy the Elf, you saw a narwhal.
Yeah,
So
they
the narwhal is
live
the one with the, a big horn on their forehead. And beluga whales are in relation.
It's just like they're one of my favorite animals.
It is like a unicorn horn, so that's very cool. So whales are mammals, which means we are mammals too. So that's a cool thing too.
They have hair. I never knew that.
The typical size of a beluga whale is 13 to 20 feet long, so quite big. But they weigh 1 to 1.5 tons. So they're pretty darn big. So what other questions or what other things you have to talk about our animals?
Not really anything else. Yeah.
Awesome. So I would recommend picking out an animal per se and having your kids maybe do a drawing and learn about the animal that they are drawing. It's been pretty fun for us. They've been able to go on Google and look at pictures and really kind of pick the animal that they wanted. Cora started off with a different animal. She started off with a polar bear and then decided that she wanted to do a beluga whale. So
it was hard to draw.
It was hard to draw. Well, maybe you can give that a try. We've got several more days of no school that you can perfect. They're excited about it. So the other thing that we were hoping to learn about today was the Northern Lights. Do you guys know what the Northern Lights are?
No.
Oh, well, that's cool because after we're done with our video, we're going to watch some more videos on what the Northern Lights are. But the Northern Lights, or they call them the Aurora Borealis, and they are really cool lights in the sky. And so they can come in red, green, blue, and sometimes the colors maybe mesh, and sometimes they can be yellow and pink too.
Oh, I know what I like that.
Yeah. So basically what happens is the sky turns to this really cool like light show in the middle of the night.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
I want to go there too just to see it.
It's just like waves.
They are.
Like
They're like
swirls.
they're light waves in the sky, and it's really, really cool to see. And so, however, you can't see them all the time. You can only see them during certain times when there's certain, I think I can't remember what they call them, like vortexes in which they appear. So I could be wrong on my facts there. But the best time they say to see them is between April and September. But ideal is March and September. And usually around 1:30 in the morning is when you can go out and get the best light show. So we definitely have to have that on our bucket list, guys. Totally, we have to.
It is on my bucket list.
It's on your bucket list? All right. Very, very cool.
I want to go there for my birthday.
Oh.
I saw that once in real.
It is real. That's the crazy thing. Some of the coolest things on this planet happen, like, and you just can't explain it, right? So it's kind of neat.
Does it happen in the North Pole?
I don't know, maybe you should call Santa afterwards and ask him.
Don't even know his number.
Uh-oh.
No, you have his number. Where? Up in your wallet. You gave us it.
Don't tell Daddy. But look, guys, I showed a few pictures.
He knows.
Oh, he does? Sorry, I just pulled up a few pictures of the Northern Lights for the kids. But anyways, so we're pretty excited about Alaska. We hope to make it there someday sooner than later. I'm sure we will, because we tend to always have something on our list on our next travel. So as soon as they allow us to travel again, I'm sure it'll be at the top of our list. So that is it for Alaska. Tomorrow we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Arizona. So we have a special place for Arizona in our hearts. Both the kids were born there. So join us for our next edition of Cernys Journeys Virtual Road Trip tomorrow, Arizona. If you liked our video, please make sure that you subscribe
and like.
All right, subscribe and like Cernys Journeys kids. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Cheers. I know that's the last from cheap, but what I do